Well, there seems to be no end to the negligence of the BBMP. Bengaluru's potholed roads have caused accidents, claimed lives and even triggered protests. But the situation in many localities remain unaffected. Here's a report on one such area near the busy Bannerghatta road.
This is the state of the busy Doddakammanahalli main road. This road runs parallel to the busy Bannerghatta road and sees heavy vehicular movement all day long. The road runs through noble layout and leads to the city's outskirts like Electronic City and Jigani. Thousands of vehicles use this road as an alternative to avoid the crawling traffic on Bannerghatta road during peak hours. What's worse is that there are well over 6,000 homes, including individual houses and flats in the area. Not only is the 4-kilometer long stretch beaten from the excessive vehicular movement, it also lacks a proper drainage system. You can see open pits which are left unattended along the road. The residents have also complained that the locality lacks a proper sewage treatment plant and the drainage water often spills onto the road.
Apart from the road, there is no proper drainage system. Sometimes they come and asphalt the road, but when the rains are there, water comes on the road and whatever they have done, it goes out. So it is of no use. Here we have about 5 to 6 layouts, each layout having about 250 to 300 independent houses. That means we are having about 2,000 houses, apart from nearly 4,000 to 4,000 flats. I do not know whether the concerned authorities have enough forethought or not. Otherwise, the entire, people living in this area will be in problem when metro is started in Bannerghatta road.
The situation has been like this for well over 2 years. The potholed road had recently claimed the life of a young woman, but the concerned authorities are clearly not bothered.
She's already dead, because of the negligence of the corporation authorities not to take proper action for building it and recovering it. They should take. Otherwise, innocent people will die like this. I request you to take immediate action.
My wife is pregnant, and on this road, if we are commuting, it's very difficult. We had to, I had to drive very carefully. It's anything can happen. If some person is pregnant, she cannot walk outside on this road. So it's like it's been many months. I think it's been 1 year, more than 1 year. Conditions are same.
Though the local MLA and corporator claim to be working on the issue, the residents have clearly not seen the results. Pemmaya Malayanda, News 9, Bengaluru.
Moving on, residents living around Urvashi Theatre had a major scare as a fire in a computer parts godown threatened to spread to the neighborhood.
It was a lazy Sunday for commercial establishments and residents living around Urvashi Theatre. But suddenly panic spread as a thick smoke started billowing out of the window of a godown. The fire threatened to spread to nearby buildings and the fire brigade was alerted.
Here on Sidaya Road, and this is where a minor fire was reported around 4 this evening, and this is a building, this is the terrace of a second floor building over here. This is right opposite to the Urvashi Theatre, and this is where in this 8x10 room, several of these old computers, printers and several other gadgets were stored, and this is where a fire has been reported, and immediately the fire brigade responded to the fire call, and 2 vehicles came in. They have doused the fire successfully. Thankfully, no loss of life or no injuries has been reported, but interestingly, the fire brigade officials believe that in this case, short circuit is ruled out. They believe it could be someone who might have lit a matchstick or thrown a cigarette, and that could have led to this fire. All these computers, printers belong to One Axis Computers. This is on the second floor of this building, and it was stored over here. And a lot of flex material as well, that's from the hoarding nearby in this building and the adjacent building, that too was over here. That's the reason there was thick smoke when the fire was reported, but thankfully the fire brigade managed to douse the fire immediately as soon as they arrived. No loss of life. It is estimated that roughly around 50,000 rupees is the loss in terms of goods in this fire.
2 fire tenders rushed to the spot and managed to douse the fire before it could spread to the closely knit buildings in the neighborhood.
The smoke was coming, so I just waited and I just called the media person and the fire brigade one. And little smoke was coming first, and then huge smoke started, and it was fire. We just went up and checked out. It was just burning and burning. All the glass pieces are smashed over there.
Fire personnel who questioned the owner of Axis Computers suspect that there might be some foul play, as they assessed that short circuit could not have happened.
ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರು ರೋಡ್ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಮತ್ತು ಜಯನಗರ ಫೈರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ 2 ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಗಳು ಅಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. ಬಂದು ನೋಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್ನ ಟೆರೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 10/8 ಒಂದು ರೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಭಾಗಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಜೆರಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನ ಶೇಖರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದೆ ತುಂಬ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ಗಳು, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ದು ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು, ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ಸ್ದು ಅದು ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸಂಭವ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಆಗಿತ್ತಷ್ಟೇ, ಏನು ಅಂಥ ಅನಾಹುತಗಳೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಿಲ್ಲ.
Residents of the area heaved a sigh of relief as the fire did not spread to the nearby buildings and the fire brigade managed to avert a major tragedy.
An eerie silence has engulfed Suragai. A.R. Anantmurthy's house. Everything present at the house is mourning the master's death.
He was the prominent face of modern literature and a Jnanapith awardee. He served the literary world for almost 6 decades. His towering personality was not confined to this field alone. He was active in theatre. His novels were made into films and he pioneered several social causes. He was mentor for thousands of young who always went to him to seek his advice on several aspects of literature. His home, as well as his office in Dollars Colony, wears a deserted look. A pall of gloom has descended on the house. Everything in the house has come to a standstill. This is his office with a vast collection of books. He was very well read and had a thorough knowledge of Kannada as well as English literature. Several of his works were conceptualized sitting in this place. This computer, printer, his pens and the chair are missing their master. According to family sources, much of his time was spent in this office cum library. The divan you see here is where he would take rest after the work. The walls in this office are adorned by his pictures taken at different functions and literary meets. There are also mementos, awards and certificates of appreciation and recognition for his contribution to literature and social cause. Dr. U.R.A. loved nature, and his passion for gardening can be gauged looking at the garden at the backyard of his house. He would personally water the plants. And this is the place where he would sit with the guests and speak to them for hours. The wooden swing too seems to be mourning the death of the owner of the house. In the backdrop you can see an idol of Anjaneya which is said to be liked immensely by URA. While an eerie silence has engulfed Suragi, it is not just the residents, everything in this house seems to be mourning the master's death. Amrita Patil, News9 Bengaluru.
Moving on, Ganesh Chaturthi is just around the corner and Bengalurians have already started preparing for the festival. But this time it's going to be an eco-friendly affair.
It is that time of the year when Lord Ganesha is going to come into our homes, and one must admit that preparations for the festival are underway in full swing. Generally, celebrating the festival usually involves immersing elaborately crafted Lord Ganesha idols coated with chemicals into water. This act has surely raised concerns over the effects on the environment. And in an attempt to rectify the same, Bengalurians have come together to make idols of the Lord in an eco-friendly way. Yes, take a look at this workshop which was held at a mall in the city today, and its highlight, making of Ganesha idols from clay. Sandalwood actress Shweta Pandit also supported the initiative and even took part actively in making the idols.
Well, it's a brilliant step, that is what I feel, because first of all it's our God, and second thing, of course, much before that it comes our nature. The colors they use, the plaster of Paris they use, it's just spoiling our waterbeds, seas and everything. So eco-friendly Ganesha is a brilliant and wonderful cause. I would say have a safe festival and, just celebrate it in a very eco-friendly way.
Majority of the participants at the event were tiny tots, and parents were happy seeing their kids actively taking part in it.
We should do more of this in kind of probably more locations in Bangalore, so more people get to know. And this is the first time we made Ganesha together, and I think we'll follow up years to come.
Well, now that Bengalurians have taken the first step towards an eco-friendly Ganesha Chaturthi, let's hope this initiative sees support of one and all in the city. Nivedna Prabhu, News9, Bengaluru.